Hi, welcome back. I am so glad that you are here. You typed in the right keys to find me because you are looking for some way to elevate your improv play because you are queer, or maybe you are part of the global majority, or maybe you are femme, or maybe you are all of those things, and you're wondering, is it possible at all to bring my experience, all of the things that I know about myself, all of the experiences that I've had, all of the perspective that I've gone through, all of the journey that I'm on. Can I bring those things to the improv stage? Can I? Is it possible? Somebody help me! Okay, sorry. I know this because I was wondering those things myself, and in my long 20 plus years of improv, I have come to this answer. Yes, it is possible to bring your story, your perspective, your voice to the improv stage, and I am going to share with you how. Let's talk about how we do it. Okay, here is the thing. You're gonna hear so many people, so many improv teachers, so many improvisers talk to you and say the words, I don't care about the audience. I don't care about them. I'm up there doing my thing and that's what I do. And whatever the audience cares about, that's what they care about. But I am telling you what. If you are looking to elevate your play, if you are searching for a way to bring yourself to the improv stage, to be a vulnerable player, then consider the audience. Not just consider them, that they are there, not just be aware of them, but consider them as an extra improviser. No. It's a travesty that more people do not consider the audience as part of the journey that you are on as improvisers. Here is the beauty of considering the audience as an extra improviser. First, they will come along with you. If you bring them into the story that you are telling, then they lean in, they want to see you succeed, and they are part of your success. And at the end of your journey, whatever scene or show that you're in, they feel invested and they feel like they were the ones to help you along. Two, it's wonderful to be able to lean on the audience and let them in just a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit. You don't have to completely pull back the curtain, but when they understand fully that what you are doing on stage is improvised, that not just anything can happen, but really there is a skill, there is an art form, there is a flow, there is a way of thinking that you are showing them, they can recognize a little bit easier that what you're doing is work, what you're doing is skill. And when you bring them in, you are teaching, you are teaching the world that what you are doing on stage isn't just making things up on the spot, but it is a way of communicating that they can actually do in their daily lives. This, my friends, is what is going to make people come back to you, your theater, your show, your troupe, forever, right? But you're asking me right now, sure, Shannon, sure. I can do that all day long. I can think that way all day long. But how do I do it? How do I make the audience a part of my show? How do I include them? And here are some wonderful tips. Tip number one, build the space, the environment that you are playing in around the audience. What does that mean? This means that when you are scene painting, when you are creating an environment like a store or a beach or the woods, whatever it is, create it on stage, part of it, but also point out into the audience. Let them know that the place that the improvisers are in includes them. What does this look like? It looks like this. Here, right here, is a giant tree. It's a giant oak tree. Oh, it's gorgeous. Its branches spread out for miles across the sky. And there, and you're pointing out into the audience, there is another oak tree, and in it, a very small owl, a baby owl. Look, and look at the audience and tell them that it's over there, and wait. Have your other improvisers, can you see it? Can you see it? And I almost can guarantee you, audience members will look back there as if it's there, yes? And it's so fun to see. If it's a candy store, describe the candy that's on the shelf from here to all the way back there. Blue candies, taffies, chocolates. Can you smell the chocolate, right? These types of things. Build the environment around the audience such that they are centered, and you and your other improvisers are centered inside that environment. It encompasses the whole space, not just the stage, but the whole theater. Tip number 2. How do you do it? Is ask the audience to help create the sound and noises. Ask them to make the noise or the smells. Don't listen. Do not ask your audience members to make smells. Don't do that. Ask them to create the sound, the soundscapes, right? If you're at a farm and you're describing what's at this farm, there are chickens, and you can look at them. There are chickens. And they'll, bark, 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 bark. They'll do it on their own. It doesn't take much to get an audience to participate like that. There are cows, right? You know, children's theater. This is basically what this is based off of. Kids do this automatically. There are goats. There are sheep. And there are dinosaurs, and they'll make it roar, like surprise them. It's so fun. This works for anything. It works for animals. It works for the sound of nature. If they won't start it for you, cue your other improvisers to help lead the sound or the action that you're looking for. Pro tip on this number 2. Not only can you get your audience to participate with their mouths, but you can also ask them to participate with their bodies, right? So the wind is rustling through the trees. Trees, trees, trees. Nice. Could I get some wind over here? Excellent. Could I get some trees over here? Wonderful. Some trees? Great, right? Ask for what you are looking for, and you will receive. Number 3, play games with your audience. Now, what I mean by that is use the techniques in short form that you can also use in long form. When I am talking about asking your audience for wind or trees or sounds or body movements, when I'm talking about that, usually I'm thinking that you are in a long form experience. But this tip, this idea of including your audience also works for short form. So whatever game that you're playing, you can include your audience in any part of the game that you want. Why do I say all this? I say all this because it is important that we use techniques from short form and from long form in both our short form and long form. The techniques that we use in long form improv can also be used in short form. And the things that we learn in short form, please use that short form knowledge in your long form play. And this is what I'm talking about. So there are so many games that we play in short form that we turn off, right, when we are in long form. If you are watching this and you're wondering, what is long form? What is Shannon talking about? Long form? Short form? Think about it this way. Short form, many games. If you know Whose Line Is It Anyway, these are short form improvisers. But long form is narrative. You are usually telling a story that is anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour and a half of an improvised play is what I'm talking about. So, what was I saying? I was saying something. What was I saying? Short form, long form, crossovers? Great. If you know all about short form, you're just like, oh my god, I know so much about short form. I'm so good at it. If that's you, use your short form skills in your long form play. What games do you know that will invite the audience on stage, right? Things like arms expert, right? Now, the great change that has gone over in the last 2 years. We don't often do these things, but I'm going to use arms expert as an example. The game where one person has their hands behind their back and another person puts their arms through the little holes that are made right here and is the expert, right? Are the arms, acts as the arms. You can do this with an audience member. Look, I'm gonna get so much pushback on this one. You don't know, what about safety? And what about people's private spaces? Listen, just tell your audience members that that's what you're going to do before you bring them up, okay? Get consent. Don't surprise an audience member by getting behind them and sticking your arms through their arms. Don't do that. Let them know what's going on. You can also ask audience members to come on stage, sit in a corner, and then ask them for things like their grandmother's recipe or grandmother's advice, right? Or any questions, really. Tell me a story. What's the story? Those techniques that we use in short form, the way we get suggestions, the games that we play, can also be used to enhance our play in long form. Just be creative with how you are telling your story and how you can physically bring an audience member or multiple audience members on stage to act as line givers, to act as animals, to act as literal pillars or trees or bushes. These are some ways that you can engage your audience so that they are included in your play. When we engage our audiences, they lean in, they trust us, they get a chance to see a little bit behind the curtain. And when they get a chance to see behind the curtain, they begin to understand that our art form isn't just making things up on the spot, right? It feels like that's what it is, but really there is an art form to what we do. And when we show them that, it elevates us all. And here's the part about you and your story. When you engage the audience by asking them questions, by becoming parts of the story, by setting them inside the environment that you have set up. If you are setting up an environment that is from your truth, your perspective, if you are asking them questions like, have you ever been in a position where you had to make a choice? This question can be coming from a real place in yourself. When you ask them these types of questions or put them in these types of environments, they get not only a sneak peek behind the curtain of improv, but they get a sneak peek into your life and your story. These are the reasons that improv is important. These are the ways that we can show up as who we are on stage and invite people in just a little bit to participate in that. It is a very sacred space. The improv stage, such a sacred space because we are able to be vulnerable, because we are able to invite people into our lives. That is, so scary and revolutionary, right? This is a revolutionary art form. We're asking you, the improvisers, to open up. And if you are so bold, you are asking the audience to come into your life, to participate a little bit in building a world, literally building a world where your story is of the utmost importance. They are riveted by this. They are sitting in a seat in which they can participate in your story if you allow them to do so. And you can if you invite them in, like vampires. As a wrap-up, the audience is an organism, a living, breathing organism, and they can be another improviser if you let them in. 3 ways that you can let them in. 1, build your world around them so that they are seated inside the world that you have built, right? If this is my stage, all of the things can go from here. We scene paint this, but we also scene paint that. 2, ask the audience, cue the audience, right? Cue the audience to use their voices and their bodies to participate in the creation of the environment, the sounds of the environment, the not smells of the environment. You can ask people to stand and just be paintings. Come on, hey, you, would you like to be a painting? Will you just stand right here? What's a pose that shows bravery? Great, this painting is bravery. And they can stay there, just stay there for a little while, right? And you can pass by this painting, wow. And 3, use short form games in your long form play. Storytelling, 1 word at a time. What else? The mannequin games, all of those. Think about how your short form skills and games can cross over into your long form play. This way you can bring audience members up on stage. Remember, if you are so bold, bring yourself to the improv stage. There is one person in that audience who shares similar stories, a similar background, who can really connect with who you are. And if you are so bold, if you are brave enough to bring your story to the improv stage, then you will connect with that audience member and cause a ripple effect that elevates our art form and also speaks directly to their experience. What we do is communicate. That is what improvisers do on a high level. We are expert communicators. Yes, we are playful, we can play, we tell stories, but all of these things are ways that we communicate to each other as improvisers, and we communicate to the audience, and the audience represents the world. You're gonna do great. I want you to tell me in the comments how it goes. Tell me what amazing ways you have brought your audience in and how that brought your audience in. What did you use? What techniques did you use? I want to hear all of it. And I hope that you are bringing people into your life on and off the stage. Mwah! Bye.